In this video, I will teach you how to keep the track of the game objects and how to destroy them. Let's begin. When you are spawning lots of game objects and your game can run basically infinite amount of the time, after just let's say 10 minutes of playing your game and spawning the obstacle each 0.5 seconds, you will get tons of game objects in your game that they don't have to be in the game because you don't even see them anymore. So when I look at a scene view, and you see I'm spawning these cubes and they are just going freely and moving until the end of the map in the game. And the game still needs to manage them. It's taking the resources, and after a few minutes of running this game, we'll get into some performance issues. So what we need to do is when the game object, this obstacle disappears, where it will cross some threshold on the map, we just simply need to destroy them. Okay. To this, we need to go to our code. We'll go to our game manager, and first we'll do the cleanup in our update method here. So this part here, what we are doing here is just simply moving our movables in the game, and when they cross the threshold, we are placing them at the beginning of the map. So let's create some wrapper method for this and also for this here. For this for each here we are handling spawning. So let's get here. Private void handle spawning, and handle spawning will be this for each. So we'll copy, paste it here. Okay, handle spawning will be calling here. Okay, and here we are moving the movables. So we'll create here a new method down here, private void handle environment or handle movables. Okay, and this will be this part, remove it, handle movables. Let's get here, handle movables. I'll just format my code. Oops, where I am here, game manager, format code. Okay, so handle movables, and we'll create here a new method, and will be private void, and this will be for destroying the game object. So we'll call it garbage collector or handle despawning or garbage collector like this. Okay, and we'll call it here. Okay, so in the garbage collector method, we will be destroying the game objects. We can do it two ways. First, I will show you the wrong way. If you would do here for each, and you will get here var and call it spawn in. Actually, we want to handle the garbage collector, but we are not handling the game objects we are creating. You see where is the problem? What I need to now iterate here. We are not keeping the track of the spawned game objects. So first, in handle spawning, when you are spawning these game objects, we need to store them somewhere to access them later. So first, go up here and create here a new private. In this case, we're working with a list. So list, and the type of this list will be obstacles. List of obstacles, and we'll call it active spawns. Active spawns or active obstacles, whatever you want to call it, active spawns. We'll create here a new list. Okay, so we have active spawns, and now when we have active spawns, we can add them, our spawn game object, we can add in the list. So let's write here var spawn, and now we need to be careful because the spawn is returning also null. So when you will look at the spawn method, you are creating the game object, but if the time is not larger than the spawn timer, then you're returning a null. So in most of the cases, you're returning null. So make sure in a game manager here, you need to check if the spawn is not equal null, only then you want to add it into the list. So if the spawn is not equal to the null, access here active spawns and add their spawn. Okay, so now we have a spawns in active spawns list. Now we can work with the garbage collector. So now we can iterate spawns. So spawn in underscore active spawns, and we can destroy them and remove them from the list. So let's write here m underscore active spawns, remove, we will remove the spawn, and then also we need to destroy the game object because this is just removing it from the list. So now we need to write here destroy. That's how you're destroying the game object. You will access here spawn and game object, and this should destroy the game object. Now let's save this. As I told you, this will be not working that great. When you will run the game, actually it will be removing the game object, but you will you will see some issues in the console. So when I run the game, I'll go to the scene view, and you can actually already see here, we are getting this here. And you see there is a problem. I am not checking if the game object passed some threshold, and then we are removing it. As we spawn the game object, we are immediately despawning it. That's the issue. So that's the very important part we forgot about. So we need to also check for the position here. So in this for each, you'll write your if statement, and you need to check if the spawn crossed some threshold. So if the spawn transform position and the z, because we are checking the z axis, so that's a forward and backward. So is the smaller or equal to the despawn position. So m underscore despawn position z, and then we would like to handle this. Only then we would like to destroy and despawn. This way here. Okay, so if our game object cross the despawn position on the z-axis, then remove it from the list and destroy the game object. So now you should see it, but also you will see this error you're seeing now. Now it will work okay when you go to the scene view. You see the game objects are coming and they're getting destroyed, but at the same time you're getting here lots of errors. And errors here saying invalid operation exception, collection was modified, enumeration operation might not execute. So yeah, that's the issue when you are trying to remove the items in the for each loop. So while you are iterating here with the for each, at the same time you are also altering the collection. So you're altering the active spawns. So that's not allowed in the for each. So in this case, when you want to remove your items in the loop, then you should use the for loop. Okay? So then it would be better to normally just use your for loop like this classical for loop if that your index int I is equal 0, I is smaller than the active spawns count, and then I plus plus the allocative spawn equal active spawns at the index of I, and I will write the same if statement here like this. And now we don't need to use the remove, but we can since we have the I, this is keeping the track over the index, we can remove at, and we can remove at the index I. This should be faster, even more performant. And we can remove the for each. We will be removing simply with the for loop, classical way. Okay, now we can save this and go back here, and you should see that you will be removing your game objects. Let's play the game, go to the scene view. And you will see as they will come, they are getting removed. As they will cross the despawn point, they are getting removed exactly at this position. So you can see we are keeping in the game only these obstacle enemies and not anymore, because they are getting simply removed. So that's how you handle despawning. Remember, always keep the track of your game objects if you are planning to spawn more of them, because later when you will keep spawning and not despawning them, you can get into the performance issues. Actually, one bonus thing I want to show you, I almost forgot about. Let's go for a second back to our coding editors, and I want to show you how you can handle this spawning here. So you don't need to check for the nulls here. So I would like to change a little bit the spawn implementation. Yeah, that will be the one more thing I want to show. So get here into your spawnable config. As you have a spawn, copy this method and paste it under. And I would like to return not from here obstacle, but rather bool that will be returning the true or false. It will return the true if I can spawn the obstacle. It will return false if I cannot. But this way, as you see, when I will returning the bool, I cannot return from here my instantiated object. So we can get our instantiated object to the game manager, to the actually parameters, and there is something called out parameters. So you will specify the parameter here with the out keyword, and you will specify here type of our obstacle and the name of the variable, so we can call it spawn, let's say. Now we need to rework this a little bit. So if we can spawn the obstacle here, this spawn timer is okay. We will create here spawn. So this spawn we are specified in the parameters. We can assign the value to it now, spawn, and we will return from here true. So this means we can spawn, or obstacle has been spawned. In here, return null, we will return the false, because in this case we cannot spawn the obstacle, and we will assign to the spawn null, because otherwise we'll get the error because you need to assign something to the spawn. That's one of the requirements when you're specifying the output parameters. You need to assign them before you will return from the method or a function. So spawn will be null in this case. So this way we can get your returned value, basically the instantiated object, through the parameters outside of this method. Now we will go to the game manager because we want to rework this. So here we'll be spawning in the position, and here actually we will remove this part. I will show you how to write differently. I will comment it out so we can still have it here. So you will write it through the if statement because the spawn can return bool now. So you write here if spawnable spawn. All right, we will place your position. So choose spawn position. Okay, and the second parameter will be our output value, right? So that will be the out, and variable. I have wrong here. Should be comma should be here. So out var, and we'll call it spawn, and curly brackets. Okay, so this spawn will return true if they can spawn the obstacle. So here, even if we are safe, that we know that if we are inside of this if statement, then we can add to the list our spawn. So m_active spawns, add spawn here, and we are safe. We are safe to do so because we are returning true whenever we can spawn the obstacle, and this obstacle we will get through this output spawn. So that's how you do it. Okay, so let's save this as the second way how you can spawn, and it should work exactly the same. Okay, I'll see the scene view. There shouldn't be any difference. We are still spawning and spawning. Okay, so finally, that's gonna be it.